Picture this. You're in a conversation, the stakes are high, and suddenly everything goes your way. Your words seem to have a magnetic pull, bending the flow of the discussion without breaking a sweat. What if I told you that a single word could tip the balance, flipping the script so fast that the other person is left blinking, totally unsure how you just did that? That's right. One word. Not a complicated phrase, not a mind-boggling technique. Just a single, ordinary-sounding, yet secretly potent word that can make anyone pause, rethink, and, without even realizing it, start following your lead. Sounds like a superpower, doesn't it? But before the big reveal, let's dive into the ancient art of conversational jujitsu, the subtle science of controlling the narrative without ever seeming pushy or overbearing. You're about to unlock a weapon that's simple, stealthy, and shockingly effective. Everyone's had that moment, a debate, a negotiation, a date, where it feels like you're losing ground. You try to explain, to convince, to charm, but the conversation slips and slides like a greased watermelon at a summer picnic. Maybe you've tried witty comebacks, flattery, or even the old agree and redirect trick. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But imagine if you could hit pause on that slippery slope. What if you could inject a single word that seizes attention, resets the tempo, and puts you right in the driver's seat? The secret is so simple, you might laugh. But it's not about being flashy, it's about being strategic. Let's set the stage. You're talking to someone, maybe a friend, maybe a crush, maybe the world's pickiest boss, and suddenly the conversation veers off course. They challenge you, disagree, or throw a curveball you didn't see coming. What do most people do? They get defensive. They explain, justify, or scramble to change the topic. But that only gives the other person more control. Here's where our magic word steps in. It's the ultimate conversational pivot. It's the verbal equivalent of a plot twist, the sudden turn that nobody saw coming. Used correctly, it can neutralize confrontation, short-circuit arguments, and even spark curiosity where there was resistance. Ready for the reveal? The word is because. Wait, what? Because? That's it? Sounds underwhelming, right? Prepare to be amazed, because this little word carries more psychological firepower than you'd ever suspect. It's not just a connector, it's a trigger, a secret password that unlocks compliance, curiosity, and control. Let's take a peek behind the psychological curtain. In the late 1970s, Harvard psychologist Ellen Langer conducted a now legendary experiment with a simple request: cutting in line at a busy photocopier. When people asked, "Excuse me, I have 5 pages, may I use the Xerox machine?" about 60% complied. But when the request became, "May I use the Xerox machine because I'm in a rush?" compliance shot up to over 90%. Here's the twist. Even when the reason was totally pointless, because I have to make some copies, compliance still soared. That's right. The human brain is wired to respond to because, not necessarily because the reason is good, just because there is a reason. But why does this work? Our brains crave cause and effect. We're hardwired to look for reasons, to make sense of the world, to find order in chaos. Because signals that a reason is coming, and our minds automatically relax, ready to accept what follows, even if it's nonsense. This is psychological gold. Drop a because into a conversation and you instantly raise the perceived legitimacy of whatever you say next. It's like a backstage pass that gets you into the VIP lounge of persuasion. Now let's weaponize this word. Imagine you're in a debate and someone challenges you. Instead of getting flustered, you respond calmly. That's a great question because it shows you're really thinking critically. Instantly, the energy shifts. You've validated them, but you've also set the terms of the conversation. Or you're negotiating a deadline. Rather than making demands, try, Could we move this to next week? Because that way we'll have time to make it perfect. Suddenly, you're not just asking, you're offering a reason, and the odds tip in your favor. But the magic doesn't stop there. Because can also disrupt negative momentum, diffuse tension, and even create intrigue. Let's say someone's trying to pressure you into a decision. You can say, "I'm going to think about it because I want to be absolutely sure this is the right move." No argument, no pressure. Just a calm assertion backed by the power of because. And here's where it gets really interesting. The word because is so powerful that sometimes you don't even need a brilliant reason. The act of providing any reason, even a trivial one, makes your request more persuasive. It's a Jedi mind trick hiding in plain sight. But don't just take my word for it. There are countless studies showing that because increases compliance, agreement, and likability. It's the conversational equivalent of a cheat code. Drop it in, and suddenly people don't just hear you, they follow you. Let's break it down even further. Imagine you're out with friends, and someone suggests a restaurant you hate. Instead of just saying no, let's try that new place because I heard their desserts are legendary. Instantly, you've shifted the focus. You're not just objecting, you're leading, with a reason that's hard to resist. Or maybe you're trying to close a sale, land a date, or win an argument. The formula is the same. State your request, add because, and watch the magic unfold. It's so simple it feels almost unfair. But wait, there's more. The power of because isn't just about getting your way, it's about creating connection. When you offer a reason, you show that you care about the other person's perspective. You become more relatable, more trustworthy, more human. And that, my friends, is the secret source of influence. Now, you might be wondering, can this possibly work every time? Is there a limit to the power of because? Like any tool, it's all about how you use it. Drop it too often, and it loses its mystique. Use it strategically, and you'll be amazed at how often doors open, conversations turn, and people pay attention. Let's run through some real-world scenarios. Picture a job interview. The interviewer asks, "Why should we hire you?" Instead of launching into a laundry list of qualifications, try, "You should hire me because I bring a unique blend of creativity and reliability." It's confident, clear, and anchored by that magic word. Or you're at a party and someone corners you with a boring story. Rather than suffering in silence, you can gracefully exit. "Excuse me, I need to step away because I promised to call my friend." Polite, non-confrontational, and suddenly you're free. Even in high-stakes negotiations, because can be a game changer. Imagine two companies haggling over a contract. One side says, "We need to adjust the terms because market conditions have shifted." The other side hears not just a demand, but a rationale. Negotiations flow, tempers cool, and deals get done. But perhaps the most impressive use of because is in relationships. We all know that communication can make or break a connection. Arguments often spiral because people feel unheard, unappreciated, or misunderstood. But sprinkle in a because, and suddenly you're not just stating your case, you're inviting empathy. Try saying, "I'd love to spend more time together because it makes my day better." Or, "Let's talk about this later because I want to give it my full attention." It's disarming, gentle, and deeply persuasive. Now, let's address the skeptics. Some might say, "Sure, but what if the other person catches on?" Here's the beauty of because. It's so baked into everyday language, so ordinary, that it flies under the radar. People rarely notice it consciously, but their brains respond all the same. And if you want to supercharge the effect, combine because with other power words. Imagine, discover, unlock, proven, guaranteed. For example, Imagine how much smoother things will go because we're working as a team. Or you'll discover a whole new level of freedom because you took the first step. Now, you're not just steering the conversation, you're inspiring action. But let's not stop at because. There's a whole arsenal of linguistic power moves waiting to be deployed. Words like yet, as in, I haven't figured it out, yet. What if and let's can transform the mood, direction, and outcome of any interaction. But because is the ace up your sleeve, the word that quietly, reliably tips the scales. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility. The goal isn't to manipulate or coerce. It's about creating clarity, connection, and confidence. When you use because, you're inviting others into your reasoning, building bridges instead of walls. And here's a pro tip. Sometimes the best reason is the simplest. You don't need to overthink it. Let's grab coffee because I want to catch up. Let's try it this way because it could save us time. The more natural, the better. Still not convinced? Let's look at because in action in some of the trickiest situations imaginable. Scenario 1. You're asked to work late. Again. Instead of flat-out refusal, you say, I can't tonight because I promised my family I'd be home. Suddenly, your boss isn't just hearing no, they're hearing your priorities, and the conversation shifts from confrontation to understanding. Scenario 2. Your date asks why you picked a certain restaurant. Because I heard the chef is a genius with desserts. Not only do you seem thoughtful, but you've planted the seed of anticipation. Scenario 3. Someone criticizes your idea. Instead of getting defensive, respond, I appreciate your feedback because it helps me see things from a new angle. Now you're unflappable and open-minded. It works with kids, with co-workers, with strangers on the street. The secret is out. Because is the Swiss Army knife of conversation, a tool for every occasion, ready to diffuse, persuade, or charm at a moment's notice. But there's a twist. Sometimes the power of because is in what you don't say. By offering a reason, you invite the other person to lower their guard. But by keeping your reasoning mysterious, you can spark curiosity and keep them guessing. Imagine saying, I have an idea because, well, you'll see. Now you've injected a dash of intrigue and suddenly all eyes are on you. The real artistry comes from knowing when to use because to explain and when to use it to tease. Master that balance and you'll be the most magnetic person in any room. And yes, science backs this up. Research shows that people are more likely to agree, comply, and even like you more when you provide a reason for your requests. It's as if the word because flips a hidden switch, turning resistance into acceptance. Some of the world's best leaders, negotiators, and influencers know this trick. They don't just make demands, they offer reasons. Even when the reason is obvious, the act of stating it out loud makes the request feel more legitimate, more thoughtful, more compelling. So next time you're in a tricky spot, whether it's a job interview, a date, a family dinner, or a high-stakes negotiation, remember the secret weapon hiding in your vocabulary. Use it wisely, use it often, and watch as conversations start to bend your way. In a world where everyone's fighting to be heard, the ones who offer reasons are the ones who get results. Why? Because that's how the mind works. Because people crave understanding. Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to feel like there's a logic to the madness. And now, you know the one word that puts you in complete control. Use it well, because the world is full of conversations waiting to be won.